Very good morning, guys. My name is Shivraj, and I have started a new series in my YouTube channel that is named as Gen Z JavaScript. So, in this series, we will be learning React.js, Angular, and JavaScript. All the important concepts we will be learning here. And I am a full stack developer with having 10 plus year of experience under my belt. And guys, please subscribe to my channel so that you will be notified for all the upcoming videos. Thank you.
So guys, in this video, with the help of AI, in in a single video, we will be understanding Redux Toolkit, and the important thing is Redux Saga. So I have only these four app.js, user saga, store, user slice. Only these four files we will check. Okay, and let me check what is in index.js. Did we make any change? Okay, in index.js, just we have given this provider. Inside this provider, we have wrapped our application so that the store is accessible in our whole application. So this is how we are giving store inside provider and wrapping our application. This is our application which holds all the component inside this. So this is the only thing that we have to see in index.js, right? And first we will go to app.js. In app.js, simply we have one button, add new user. This will add new user by calling this handle new user. Handle new user will dispatch this action named as add user request, and this payload, it will take this payload. That's it. Similarly, use effect, whenever this use effect on the load itself, it will dispatch this fetch user request. This kind of action will be dispatched, and that's it. On dispatch, Saga is already listening for this, so Saga will call it. So I hope you're clear with this app.js, what we are doing here. This is app.js where, so see, uh, what I'm thinking that you are having Redux knowledge already when you are seeing this, and some of the knowledge you have, right? So this will be, for all those who are shifting from Angular or shifting from other framework, who have a knowledge of this ngrx or any kind of rxjs. uh, and rxjs is also not very important here because we are using Saga generator functions which have come in ES6. So you should have understanding of React at least. From there you can understand it in one video itself. So index.js, we have seen in provider, we have passed this store so that the store is accessible to our whole function. And this is very simple. With Apple Redux Toolkit, it has become very simple now, state management. So this is our app.js. Inside this, what we are doing, this use dispatch hook, which is we are getting from React Redux. We are storing it in dispatch, right? And then we have data and loading use selector hook we are using, that is also coming from Redux. So we have data, we have loading, and we are using this. If loading, then show this, right? If data, then show the list of data. That's it. I hope you are able to understand all this. Now, as soon as I click on add new user or the page loads, on that time, it will go to user saga. Here, see, we have worker function, all these, but see here we have this user saga which we have exported, right? This we have already exported user saga, and this is checking for this fetch user request, which on page load itself this is being called. So it will call this function work fetch users fetch, and when we click on button add new user, at that time we are calling this action, right? Add user request. So that is why it is listening. As soon as that button is clicked, it will call this function. As soon as our page loads, it will call this function, because on use effect we are calling this action. So as soon as this it is listening, it has subscribed to those actions. As soon as it listens, okay, this action is being triggered, this action is being dispatched, then it will immediately call this function. That's it, guys. So when it will call this function, at that time, what will happen? If you go here, work, so you will see function asterisk. This asterisk is nothing but it tells this is not a normal function, it is a generator function. What is generator function? These are introduced in ES6, which uses this yield. You can see only this is the difference, yield. So what yield is doing, the code looks like it is synchronous, but it is behaving as a asynchronous. What it will do, it will dispatch the action, right? But it will remain in this line until this operation is complete. So this is how it is making this function, this generator function, asynchronous. So asynchronously you are managing your state with the help of this yield. So this line will be called and it waits until and only this is done, right? This brings a response whether it is pass or fail, any kind of promise, and then it will move ahead. If it fails, then it will catch it and inside this also get using yield. So yield plays a very important role inside Jenter function. And so same we are doing here. Whenever we are trying to add new user, we are calling this post request, and inside that we are passing the action payload that we are passing from there, the name and that we are passing from the app.js, right? This one, name and email as a payload. That's it. We are good. And as soon as we receive it, it will pass add user success. If it fails, then it will call this add user failure. Try and catch, you are already familiar, right? If the code will run first, it will run this try block. If it fails, then it will go to catch and show this whatever you want to show in your failure. So here we are sending this e dot message, and later on we can play with that message. Whatever we want, we want to show it as an alert, we want to show it as a pop up, anything. So this is how we have exported it, and it is listening to all these events. And as soon as this event occurs, we will call this function. So that is how simple this Saga is. So this is what the Redux Saga is, Redux Saga Middleware, and how we have configured it. See, we have seen app.js, we have seen index.js. We have to see store and user slice, right? So let's go to store. So in store, we have configured everything. See, in store, only these two, three lines are there. First, we have used this create Saga middleware, right? This create Saga middleware is coming from Redux Saga. So Redux Saga is providing us this method, create Saga middleware. So we have now this instance, Saga middleware. Inside this instance, we are running this method, run. Inside run, we are passing user Saga. What is user Saga? That is the file that we have created. This is user Saga. Here we are telling Saga this is user Saga function, and inside this Saga we are listening to these actions. So this user Saga we are running where as soon as the application runs, this Saga is also get activated. So now this user Saga, because this is listening to all this, so it is now it is now keeping an eye. If any of this action is triggered, then it will call these functions. That's it. So that's how we are activating it. And this is simple store. So this store is configured here. User, this user reducer that we have made, and this middleware is that Saga middleware that we have. And user slice here we have this. This is a Redux toolkit. So this has made so much simple. In otherwise in Redux there will be so much boilerplate code. So in this we have initial state. What will be the initial state of our store? That is data is empty, empty array, loading is false. By default, an array is null. And then in reducers we have all these. Okay, we have all these method fetch user request, fetch success, but it will do on success, but it will do on request, but it will do on any add user, what it will do. See, it is changing the states. It looks like we are this state of loading true we are doing, but internally it uses immer library. You must be familiar with immer library. So it is doing everything as a like immutable. It is not changing the state. Instead, it is like how we do it with dot operators, right? In Redux. Same it is doing internally. So this is all immer library being used internally, and it is a immutable, right? So these are pure functions. So remember it. So we are not directly changing that. We are not mutating it. So this is all, guys, and at last we are exporting it so that they can be imported in else in other components. So that's it. Now we can see our application. So it is running here. So say this is user request that is getting passed, and we are getting the data. So this is get type of request on this initial load, and second is we have this button. So as soon as I click on this button, let us see what will happen. Let me clear everything. Click on this add user. See, user is called 201, user created. This is status code, and this is a post type of request, and what payload we are sending. This is the payload email and name that we are sending, and response is nothing but that we are getting. that object, email, ID, and name, and it automatically get it automatically being added here. John Doe is added. See, one more time, one more John Doe is getting added because we are passing this payload. John Doe, we are passing in a payload. See, this is the payload. We are passed John Doe and email. Here in this also we are passing same thing. That's why same is getting added. Right, so guys, this is how I implemented. First, I implemented this user effect and use effect like fetching, but to get more understanding, if somebody is want to make a post request or a post request also, for that I have added this button also. With this button, you can make a post request. And how this has become so simple now with the help of AI, and this in this YouTube video I will paste this my GitHub link. You can go to the code, you can play around it, and with the help of Google Gemini. Thank you very much, Google Gemini, for making everything so much simpler. So this is how I asked Google Gemini, to create this code. So first of all, you have to run this npx create react so that your project can be created with this name, Saga Demo, and then you have to come inside Saga Demo. You have to install this Redux, Redux Toolkit, Redux Saga, React. This all will you have to install by running this single command. Everything will get installed, and after that you have this. First of all, this create slice code that you can see over here, and then you have this side effects, generator functions, right? This yield. So these are actually making your APIs call. This is the Saga code, and then you have simply store configurations, right? Activating this Saga, and this is the only code to this for configuring the store. And so UI code, simply showing the list, right? And that's it, guys. You can like you can take pause in between, take a screenshot, or you can just ask Google Gemini. It's free, accessible to everyone. So for students or whoever, it is free and you can enjoy. You can learn so much. So here, provider we have wrapped our whole application so that store can be accessible to all the components inside this app. And you can tell it, thanks, make me understand this code line by line. So this is how line by line it will make you understand. The store, it is a single source of truth for whole application, right? And then middleware, we tell store that Saga is a middleware. This allows Saga to sit between, it sits between action and the reducer. As soon as the action is dispatched, it is listening and it is calling those functions, and that's how store is getting, the reducer is running the method in order to update the store. What are the slice that you see in older Redux? These were separate files. Slice bundles them together. See, in slice we have less code because of this slice. So actions, fetch user request. These are like events. They notify the system that user clicked on some page, right? The action which is getting triggered, it is notifying that something is clicked. And reducer. These are pure functions. They take previous state plus action and return the new state. They never perform API calls. They are only updating the variable store. So reducer are only meant to update the store data, update the store, and Saga is responsible for making the API calls. So Saga. In older Redux, these were separate files. A slice bundle them together. Action, fetch user request. These are like events that notify the system that user clicked on something page is loaded. Reducer. These are pure functions. They take previous state plus action. Reducers are like yes. Again, we know these are like pure function. What does a pure function do? Pure function never modifies. It will take previous state and join it. It will not directly mutate it, not directly modify it. So that's why these are pure functions, right? Because they are immutable. So Saga, what Saga is doing, it is a generator function and it is asterisk mark. You can see in Angular we use. Why it is saying Angular? Because I told him that I am a experienced Angular developer. Now I want to switch to React and learn React Saga. So that's how it is taking the reference of Angular. So yield call, what this will do, this tells the middleware, go run this promise and come back to this line. See, come back to this line when you have the data. It makes async code look synchronous. So it is asynchronous type of call. Yield put action. This is the Saga version of dispatch. It sends success or a failure action back to the reducer. Take every. So you will see all these are watchers. Take every means every time you click the button, every time it will be called. And we have take latest also there I've commented. If you can uncomment that code, whenever you will click 3 4 times the button, it will only take the last one and cancel the previous request. So Depending on the usability, you can go through take every or take latest, right? And there are a lot of things like that. You can just